Hey guys, here's a quick review of the 2017 Chevy Malibu. Got this as a loaner while my 2017 Chevy Volt was in the shop, and basically it was pretty interesting. Very analog. This is your typical rental vehicle, I guess. That's a large, medium-sized rental vehicle. Overall, it's pretty cool because it actually has, all those controls and gauges in the front, and even a lot of information on the information monitor in the main cluster. Very easy to read dials and stuff. It's all analog. As you can see, there's actually a trip computer, vehicle computer, timer, navigation, with OnStar, speed, average, MPG, battery voltage, coolant temperature, battery voltage, and basically eco mode as well. Also, you change the units, speed limit warnings, remaining oil life, overall oil PSI, which my car doesn't have, PSI of all of the tires. And right now, once I got it, it started at about 26 PSI. I think it was underinflated, and basically I had to inflate it later. They also have a eco index as well as a fuel gauge as well. It has the OnStar directional, like east-west, and also the gear shift, auto stop for this engine. The turbo engine has the auto stop to save gas. Steering wheel is the same as the Chevy Volt, no difference here. There are the light controls on the side, where it controls the headlights and other door lights and the dimming of the room lights. Basically, power everything, fabric sides for inserts, hard plastic for the doors and the front, and basically a locking mechanism, the locking door switches. There's LEDs underneath there too. The vents are pretty cool. They open. It's a lot of chrome and a lot of hard plastic, but it's rubberized hard plastic. But it does look nice. It has nice contrast and nice texture feel to it. I'm not sure how long fabric lasts in a car like this, but it's pretty neat. I like how they put the hazard light in the center, easy to control knobs, and a power button that's easy to reach as well. Pretty straightforward as a car. There's no temperature thermostat, but this is a temperature overall, and a 12-volt plug-in and one USB plug for the bottom. The gear shift is just automatic, but there's a plus-minus gear shift on the top, so when you shift to L, you can actually shift it. I noticed that it's very, very hard to shift using an automatic or using that plus-minus because the hand position is wrong. I'll show you that a little later. There's a traction control button right in the center. There are LED lighting underneath the dash that you can see what's in the cubby hole, but that traction control is pretty big there. I don't think you need such a big button for a traction control. In terms of the infotainment unit, basically it pairs phones, goes to FM, AM, radio, satellite, all that fun stuff, and as well as OnStar. The button touch is kind of slow because the screen is an older screen type. It's not conductive. It is conductive, but it just takes a while and it's kind of slower. There is controls for USB, the configuration of the car, OnStar, settings, phone. All that stuff is here. It's actually not bad. It's you don't need a lot of stuff, and it also has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can actually plug into this thing. It's not bad. But overall, if you could get what you need to do and get done with that sort of stuff, and SM radios, USB or Bluetooth, so it connects up to that. It just works. To be honest, it's not horribly great, but it looks kind of like the screen looks too small for our area. But this is it's a rental car. I'm just glad it has CarPlay and stuff that we use as navigation, and also Android Auto as well. So glove box is about the same too. On the back of the steering wheel, you actually have the regular steering knobs and stuff, and also two paddle controls for left and right. It's for volume as well as the audio changing the tracks. There was a leather placement thing right next to the gearbox, and there is rear view cameras. And the best part about this car is actually that lumbar support. You actually have a powered lumbar support in the back along with the power seats. I wish I could put this in my Chevy Volt because it doesn't have that. There are water bottle holders on each door, so there's no cargo issue with putting water bottles in this place. Like I said, the screen is kind of small compared to the entire thing. There is a separate slot there for cell phones, and there's nothing in the cubby hole. The cubby hole has absolutely nothing in there. There's no power jack or anything like that. So you don't even need to look. In the back of it though, it's all pleather, so it's not bad. Behind the seats and the seats for the passenger side seats and the upholstery, it's not bad. It's just that sandpaper nylon that GM has. Even my Chevy Volt has it for the LT model. There are vents in the back for your back seat people, as well as power for them, 112-volt socket. And pretty much that's it. It does sound kind of rickety, not rickety, but how should I say it, hollow, because I think this is a pretty light car in a big body, and compared to Chevy Volt, which is a really heavy car with a big battery and stuff like that, it feels lighter than my Chevy Volt and more airy. The back seats do fold down, and there are coat hangers on the rear passenger side and driver side, so you can still hang stuff if you want. There's no other thing, there's no handles or anything else other than that. So like typical American cars, you just really no handles anywhere for people to get in on. Couplers in the back. There is a weird tassel lash thing over there on the door of the back seat. I have no idea what they are. There are two weird things that are on the side. It looks like airbag plugs or wiring that are exposed to, for some kid to play with it. It's nice and yellow. I'm not sure why it's not covered though. So, maybe this was loaner or something, but usually I would think that they want to cover this thing so that they don't have kids pulling on it or yanking on it or kicking it. But who knows? Back seat's pretty wide. It's very comfortable. It's much more comfortable than my Chevy Volt because it actually has real seats and real bigger seats. Again, everyone has their own bottle holder on the side as well as cup holders in the center, but the visibility in the back kind of sucks. It's okay, but the pillars are thick and stuff like that. On the thing, there is light controls and mics in the front. The sun visors actually have a mirror and light, but there are incandescent lighting, which is fine. And so is the passenger side too. They also have a lit thing. My Chevy Volt doesn't have that, even though it costs probably $10,000 more than this car. But oh well. It's they put on all these little things. There are anchors for child seating as well, and in the back trunk there are other anchors too. The back trunk is actually very spacious because it has no battery, no nothing. So you can actually have a lot of stuff with the seats down or fall down. The anchors actually hold, I think 25 pounds or 30 pounds or something that they could tug against. There's roughly 4 anchors in the trunk space, which is pretty convenient. If you had something that's going to roll around, you can actually put a net or something else like that in it. Huge trunk. Cold tire pressure is basically 33 psi. So overall, it's pretty cool. In terms of the battery and stuff, the controls actually open the trunk. Under the trunk there is a spare tire with tools and with a fuel funnel for if you're doing a funnel for with a gas tank or something else like that, with a tank of gas. For the controls for this car, I was trying to drive it manually with the manual gears control. You have to shift it down to L before you can actually change the lower gears. Hard to press because it's like your thumb doesn't rest there, so you basically have to take your hand off and then press it. If they put it on the side of it, it would have been a lot easier to do it, or if they made it like how they had before, where they just basically shift left or shift right, that would be awesome. I like how they had side marker lights for turning as well as the night lights for the car. It just looks really nice to have that chrome gleam off with that LED light that's hidden inside the door handle, which is really nice. I do like that. Another thing is that the LED lights are on the front, but in the back it's incandescent bulbs, so it looks orangey, so it doesn't really flow through. The rear lights are incandescent, while the front lights are LEDs, which makes it cold in the front, warm in the back. Don't know how you want to see that. Anyways, for gas, there is no cap on the gas. It's basically just a little automatic spring-loaded cap thing. Fills the same way. You just shove the gas thing and just fill the thing up. It's not a big deal. Gas mileage-wise, it says it gets 30 MPG, so 2736. So my actual MPGs was actually about 20 before I filled it. But now, after I went to basically put some air in it, put in about 38 psi for each one hot, so basically that goes down to about 35-ish, and I got a pretty good MPG out of this thing. Roughly I got about 24 or 25 miles per gallon, at first, and then it actually grew up to about 35 miles per gallon, driving with fully, filled up tires, which is nice. And this is only a 2,000 mile car. Under the hood, and there's the hood, and also there is that parking brake is actually hidden on the floor of the driver's side. Under the hood is actually a turbo 1.3 or 1.5 liter Ecotec from GM, which is pretty nice. It's a turbo engine, so it takes about 3,000 RPM for it to actually get any power, and it's kind of rough when it goes to 3,000. It just kind of pulls you, which is nice. But you don't hear any turbo whistle or anything else like that. This whole car is huge, and it's roughly around $26,000 that they're asking for retail price. So is it really worth it? I don't know. It is a nice big car. It is a Malibu, and it is comfortable, if you drive it. But it, up to you. It does look nice. It looks really aggressive in front. Does it look expensive? I wouldn't say so if you walk into it or if you look around it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This is a quick review of the Chevy Malibu LT that I borrowed. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. Just stay tuned for more videos and stuff on car reviews and other things like that from this channel. Thanks a lot.